time for the last match of the day. G2 versus Selfless. With the commentary is Wavepunk and Findable Carpet.
Thanks so much, Axel Toss. The match of the day, the match we've all been waiting for, Carpet, the clash of the Titans, Selfless versus G2. A little bit tarnished by the fact that Selfless is no longer undefeated, and this is not two undefeated teams going up against each other, but you know Selfless is going to be reeling after that last match and come in with fresh blood.
I mean, they were able to perform really well, but before we get too into that, I think we should stage like some kind of coup against James. I don't know, man. He only...
All right, we'll do it on live television right now. You won't ever see it coming.
He only picks Espion just because he's Espion. And now he's trying to pressure Shogun into picking Europe as his favorite just because he's from the region. I don't know how I feel about this. But hopefully his analysis of this series will be unbiased, unlike the rest of his analysis. And we'll see if G2 can take it.
As long as we're talking about bias, I think you and I were the only casters in the caster pick'em that picked Selfless to win this one. So we're going to have to work on being unbiased too, because I definitely want to be right. Because right now I'm on top of the leaderboard for that thing.
Well, I expected them to do a little bit better, especially after going 2 games up in that series. I mean, getting a reverse sweep is just like an ego punch. I mean, you're like, I'm doing really good. We got this. We're up 2-0. Easy third game win. Oh, no, we lost, but it's cool. We still got time. Oh, we lost another. We're tied up. It's not a big... Oh, now we've just got reverse sweeped. Yeah. Oh, what do we do? Mom, please help me.
Is this what all of our other opponents have felt like every other match? Oh, man, this is rough. So hopefully Selfless is able to bounce back here. G2, they had a bye week, and then they have only 1 game this week. So coming off, they have not been playing a lot of RLCS Rocket League, so we will see if they are still in top form. Selfless looking good so far in league play. Can they take it to G2? Let's find out as game number 1 gets set on DFH. It's G2 in the orange, Selfless in the blue, and Miho has made the switch to the Batmobile.
A little unexpected. But I guess he's a little confident in the way he will be playing. Maybe some more solo plays, a couple of flicks for his teammates. But we're going to see a lot of pressure coming in at G2 right off the bat. They know Selfless is warmed up, and they can't give them any room to breathe.
Excellent pass from Dapper out to Timmy, who takes the shot towards the net. Kronovi gets the block, and it'll be JNaps off to the races. Here comes all of G2. Open net. They'll be able to get that one in. Aggression from Selfless getting punished.
We saw it happen a few times last series, and G2 very easily take... Look at this. Rizzo's in front just for what? Just in case he was going to go for the bump on Timmy in case he came through. He still went for the bump on Timmy, even after the goal was sunk in.
They were giving the ball an escort. It was like a 3-man. They got wingmen all over the place. Make sure it goes all the way in. 4:28 left to go on the clock, and G2 is already up. Selfless had a nice opportunity to score, but we're not able to capitalize. Here they come again. This time, Miho lurking in the back. He'll move up. He and Timmy both moved up. This is a dangerous situation as Rizzo only has to beat Dapper in the back. The pass onto the backboard will go out to JNaps, over towards Kronovi. We're able to bounce it off the wall. Excellent touch to send it off the wall and have it not roll up. But they are not able to score off of that play. 3:58 left on the clock. And it'll be G2 again advancing on offense. It's Rizzo up to take the shot. Miho blocks it away. Back into the orange. Dapper, the 50-50, going to play out in his favor as it keeps the ball in the orange. And then Timmy into the corner. JNaps wrapping it around. Miho wins it out. Can they tie up the game? A nice shot from Timmy. Just the backflip off the Batmobile. And Rizzo will try and carry this one out towards his teammate JNaps. G2 going to try and see if they can extend their lead, but 3:30 left to go. Still 1-0 in G2's favor.
And Rizzo, one of those players I think is one of the most aware of everyone on the pitch. He does such a good job of waiting, knowing he's got the time. He comes out for the ball, always gets the contest he needs, and if he has time to slow it down, he always will. And Rizzo
is going to go in, able to put it through the defender. Timmy was trying to fall back quickly. 2-0 for G2.
It's not looking great for Selfless right now. Miho with a complete whiff. This is not what I'm used to seeing out of Selfless. They're out of rotation. They're not getting the touches that they're used to getting. And right now, G2 is just comfortably strolling them in.
G2 showing up in top form. The bye week only making them stronger here in game number 1. This is Selfless that we are talking about, a team that is used to dropping games 1 and 2 and then coming back. We will see if they do it again. But game number 1 right now, very much in G2's favor, as they have kept this ball in the blue half for most of this game. So we are approaching halftime. JNaps over to Kronovi, a nice cherry pick shot. Dapper can't get up in time. Excellent placement.
Kronovi with an absolute monstrous shot. This pass from JNaps, always seeking his teammate out. He kept all that momentum, rotated his car underneath, popped it up to the crossbar, and it feels like Selfless, it looks like they just feel like they're under pressure. A lot of the touches they're doing, No one's even contesting it, and they're giving it up. They're just throwing it away because they feel like they have to make a good touch, and they're just not able to do so. And G2 is almost just like giving them pseudo pressure.
Yeah, they're just able to put those shots straight in. 119 kilometers per hour was the speed Kronovi put on that one. He's going to look to put in a slow one here, but Miho rotating in time, getting it away. G2 still with so much pressure right in front of the Selfless net. JNap's carrying this one through. Can he finish this one off by himself? The plays from G2 just keep on coming.
G2 right now, just barbarians, just completely punishing everything they can for Selfless. JNap's getting that dunk on Miho. He actually got the save. That was a pretty nice save. But now we're looking at 8 shots for G2 to only 2 from Selfless. 4-0 and just past the halfway mark. This is not a good precursor for the rest of the series as far as Selfless is concerned.
So either Selfless needs to get it into high gear and perform the most epic of comebacks we've ever seen in league play, or they need to start thinking about game number 2.
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Selfless.
Yeah, exactly. I can't count them out yet.
3 reverse sweeps under the belt, one of them not working out for him and going against them, but still a team that can clearly perform well no matter what position they're in.
The passes here are excellent to get a nice shooting opportunity, but nobody in a good position to take that final shot, and here comes G2 just punishing straight back the counter plays.
So much midfield play. They keep sneaking each other out. Look at this, JNaps, he knew it. He put himself in a place where he knew he'd reach there before Dapper, and he gave Rizzo a place to pass it to. They're giving their teammates the easiest time in the world. He's like, Riz, you can take a shot, that's cool, but also, I'm here, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm over here on the left, and I'll shoot it for you.
And that's a nightmare for Dapper, who's like, okay, well, which one do I block? I just got to kind of guess and hope that I know what he's going to do with the ball. Guess is wrong. 5-0 for G2 now with 1:30 left to go. They are on fire here in this game number 1. Miho going to move up and try to win out the 50-50, but JNaps just plays it to the side, keeps ball control with his team, and now Rizzo looking for the air drag setup. JNap's going to try and pass that one out too. Here's an opportunity for Selfless. Best opportunity of the day. Miho's got the breakaway. He'll get a point on the board, but they're going to have to really get it into high gear if they want to make a win out of game 1.
It's not good knowing your best opportunity of the day is when G2 kind of just goes for fancy stuff all over you, and then they just mess it up. Kronovi being that last man on defense, you know, I applaud the effort of going for that final contestant, but the 50-50, he absolutely missed that one. It went straight behind him. He lost that 50-50 really badly. And his team did pay, but at 5-1, are they really paying?
Yeah, right. At this point, you could even make the argument if it's a Brazil setup. They're just like, oh, let him have the one. We'll get 2 more in the final minute.
We don't speak of that here, Wave Punk.
I mean, I think we do. Rizzo going to try and dribble this one straight into the blue. Dapper will pick up the boost and play it out to Timmy, who actually just hangs in the back. Dapper was setting it up to himself, rather. Now JNap's going to try and play this one around. 43 seconds left. At this point, just buying time. All that G2 needs to do. This game was basically over at halftime as G2 had really put it into high gear. And Selfless just has not had a response on either defense or offense for anything that G2's been thrown at them.
They haven't been able to gather up anything, and it seems like they might be dedicating to things that really aren't going to result in much. Looking for passes that aren't there, looking for shots that aren't that great, and trying to play off of them. The first few goals, G2 just strolled in. They just took a nice stroll down the park, walked it all the way in. No one is there to contest it, and that's when they started that lead. And honestly, once you have a 2 or 3 goal lead, it's really only going to get carried away from there.
It certainly will, and with that touch there, can Kronovi put 1 more in, just padding the stats. He's on the top of our scoreboard here. Will be the MVP for game number 1 as G2 just obliterates Selfless here. Selfless is going to have to go back to the drawing board in the 60 seconds they have between the games.
I mean, I'm sure they're pretty happy with this. As far as shot accuracy goes, Kronovi with a 50% shot accuracy.
Hey, I want to point out Miho left. I was going to bring this up. I'm like, I wonder if he's going to go switch off the Batmobile.
Most likely.
Yeah, probably what he wants to do there.
He probably didn't feel too comfortable. Kronovi, 50% shooting accuracy, 6 shots to 3 goals. JNap's 66% shooting accuracy, 3 shots to 2 goals. And Rizzo with 33% accuracy, 3 shots to 1 goal. They all just boosted their stats that game alone. They have to feel fantastic. And if they can bring that momentum going into the next game, they're going to feel great. But knowing Selfless, they're going to lose the next game, and then they're going to start winning.
Yeah, then they're going to take the controllers back from their little brothers and be like, all right, our turns now to show you guys how to play. This is the thing, is like, you look at this game and it's like, oh, clearly this is going to be a 3-0 for G2. But if Selfless has taught us anything, you never count them out. They do. This is the most formidable test that they have had so far this season, though. And G2 right now, there is a blizzard on Mount Kronovi, and they do not know how to weather this storm right now because Kronovi is on fire. You pointed out that 50% shooting accuracy, 2 saves on top of it. This guy is going off. And
the passing plays. They're looking for each other so well in that midfield. Everyone, JNaps, Kronovi, Rizzo, they always know if it's a 2v1, I'm not going to just shoot this on net and just give up the ball to the defender. I'm going to force the defender to make a decision. We have the options. We have all the opportunities. I can shoot it. I can flick it.
Right.
I can give it to you. You can pass it back. You can shoot it. How's a defender supposed to block 6 options?
Right.
They're not.
Right.
Which is why G2 just did so well.
They have to remove that option before it is there. They need to be tackling in the midfield. They have to force the 50-50s. Do not let G2 have time to get set up. Also, kickoff goals are a good way to get started. Dapper going to get them on the board.
If there's anything that can get you momentum, it's a great kickoff goal. Kronovi went for this cheat, and he wasn't able to get this contest, and JNaps...
he went for boost. You know that thing I always say you shouldn't do off a kickoff?
What is that, Waypoint?
Just go for boost.
Don't go for boost?
Don't do it, man.
I thought you always told me to go for boost.
No,
is that why we lose whenever we play doubles?
Dude, that's why we're potato in doubles right now. Miho going to play this one straight into the corner. And they're going to look to see if they can increase this lead. Looking to bounce back after that just devastating loss of game number 1. Timmy on the wall. Puts it out into the middle. No follow-up from his teammates. And they gave it to 2 players on G2. 3 lurking right in front of an empty net. The ball was moving quickly enough that G2 was not able to take a shot. Good tackle by Miho. And Timmy going to look to follow it up. But JNaps on the backboard, out to his teammate Kronovi. It'll be out in the middle field of the blue.
At this point, it's Selfless's game to carry and keep possession. You just want to play smart with almost every touch. You don't want to clear it out. Kronovi!
Oh, the block from Dapper, blocking the follow-up from Rizzo. Such brilliant aggression there from G2, stopped out by the wall of defense from Selfless.
If there's one person that can make me lose my voice, it's usually these shots coming from Kronovi in the midfield, catching me off guard, even though I'm seeing him go for this redirect, and that's going to be in.
I mean, that was a Kronovi shot. It was kind of just a basic finish offer, but still. Excellent stuff there from G2 as they tie up the game.
Timmy went up for the prediction, but JNaps' touch was just too phenomenal. Straight over him. I think at that point, Timmy, you know your jump's going to be weak. At best, you'd get a weak 50-50. You'd probably still lose it. Maybe you'd even go back into the corner and center itself. With the little boost you have, you want to get in it, turn around, at least try your best to be a body in the way. Cut off the angles.
Oh, G2 over to Kronovi. Excellent intercept there from Miho. If he hadn't made that touch, Kronovi absolutely had another goal, and it would have been the lead back in G2's favor. I'll play this one into the corner, Timmy. Gonna try and dribble it up. A pinch across. Sends it laterally downfield, and now Dapper into the corner. Rizzo high on the wall. Miho bumps Kronovi, which opens up space, but Kronovi still gets the 50-50 over Timmy after being bumped. Way to regain control of his car. And that's set up from Rizzo out to JNaps. We'll see if G2 can put another one on the board. Tie game here with 3:15 left to go. Game number 2 of Selfless versus G2. It is Selfless who is down 1 game. We've seen them here before, and they've come back. They're going to look to tie up the series here in game 2.
They're getting suffocated a bit. Only 1 shot right now to 5. They just can't amount anything. They're not getting consecutive touches. Timmy wants to put that to a teammate, but who's there? No one but Kronovi for the shot. And now no one can follow this up.
I think if Kronovi's shot had been on target, it probably would have gone in. There was like a double fake in front of them, and they did not see Kronovi in the back coming up to make the shot. Creative play from G2 that does not end up resulting in a goal. But here they come once more. Kronovi bringing out Miho. Dapper on the wall, makes the necessary touch to the corner. But JNaps keeps ball control out to Kronovi. The pinch from Dapper will play it straight back into the hands of Rizzo, and he will follow up his own touch into the net off the ceiling. That's the lead for G2.
Rizzo reminding us who he is. This off the ceiling touch. Miho and Timmy couldn't even react to it well enough. Timmy thought he was going to get that touch from Rizzo, but too good. Just when you think JNaps, I'm going in watching G2, and I'm thinking, if there's one person that can overshadow Kronovi in North America right now, it's going to be JNaps. But it doesn't matter. Kronovi's reminding us, Rizzo's reminding us, this entire team, just a bunch of monsters. A bunch of really mean monsters.
The all-star roster that NA needs. Is it the one they deserve? We'll find out. JNaps up to Rizzo, bumps his teammate upfield, and then just continues to carry it himself. Miho will be able to gain ball control. Dapper tries to take it, but what a read from Kronovi. Keep that one in the blue. Timmy will have it up to Dapper. He's going to look to drop it down, but Rizzo gets there first. Puts his bumper on it, and it's over to the side. Now Selfless keeping their offensive pressure going. JNaps gets it between the rotation. And now they'll be able to put it back into the blue corner. Here comes G2 up on offense.
Just watch how hard Selfless is trying to just even get 2 touches in a row. They're really struggling to even meet each other out before G2. Their pace is just too much. That fake, though.
Yeah, I think Kronovi had a field side flip, man. But Rizzo still keeps ball control. Is this going in? What? Was that a JNaps to Kronovi own goal? I have to watch this again.
Let's watch it again.
And then JNaps. And then Kronovi.
Oh, go!
Kronovi, I think, holds the record for most own goals of North America.
I actually want to agree. He has the most memorable one.
Most memorable for sure.
Yeah.
That one wasn't as much his fault, but that was a 1-2-3 play. And we got a tie game here in game 2.
I mean, you take the goals you can get. And Selfless now seem to be a bit more awake. They're trying to put the options on themselves, but they're still struggling to get more than 2 touches consecutively. The pace from G2 just seems to be a bit too much.
Dapper in the air will meet with Rizzo and kill the shot. Keeping it on the ground. That demo onto Timmy. Allow Dapper Miho to try and move upfield, but it creates the power play for G2. Timmy, he doesn't make the touch, and it just goes in. That's the lead back for G2.
Timmy felt bad for Kronovi, and he's like, dude, I got you covered. I'll get an own goal as well, so we're even now. Back to a 1-goal lead for G2. Don't worry.
This game went from some of the most clean plays I've ever seen to 2 own goals.
It's just sportsmanship.
Sure.
It's just really good sportsmanship. Kronovi's trying to be nice, and Timmy's like, I don't want your handouts.
Yeah, well, oh man. I would love to be able to see the chat and see if that was actually what was happening. It's like, no, man, we're going to win this game ourselves. Don't just give us stuff. Miho going to try and set this one out for Timmy, but Rizzo on the wall. Backboard defense for G2. Coming in strong. G2 will take another shot here as they try to increase their lead. They have the 1-goal lead in the final minute of game 2. A win here would put them up 2-0 in the series. They would be able, if they keep this win here, right now we have already lost one of our undefeated teams in Selfless. A win for G2 would keep them in the running alongside NRG. Both those teams trying to go perfect in league play. Timmy playing this one slow and gets demoed by Rizzo. Dapper moves up to fill in the void, but 10 seconds left. They're going to need all hands on deck on offense for Selfless. They need to tie this up right now. They're trying to push it up. It's in a nice, dangerous position, but JNaps over to the side. Miho will play it back into the middle. Over to Dapper. So close on that play, but G2 Esports improves.
Wait. I think G2 made a mistake.
Oh, they did.
They have put Selfless in a position for a reverse sweep.
For a reverse sweep.
This is their thing. This is where Selfless thrives.
The Selfless is like, you have activated my trap card. You are screwed.
They're like, oh, okay, let's start playing. Let's turn our monitors on. Let's flip our controllers right side up. Let's start playing.
I am going to lose my ever-loving mind if that happens right now.
They'll be my favorite. I will tell right now, Selfless. This is me announcing you will be my favorite for the rest of the season if you pull this off.
And we're not allowed to have favorites. It's our job to not have favorites.
This is against the rules. I'm taking the risk, guys. I'm taking the risk. But Selfless, they haven't looked bad. It's just that G2's look too good.
Yeah.
They really have been shutting out everything. Selfless just doesn't have an answer for it. I think the positioning they were used to going against the Tellier and going against the early G2 in the very beginning of the series, their positioning is just a bit too spread out, and G2's punishing hard.
Absolutely. And I think one thing they could try, we saw Timmy just lighten it up in the series before this, but we've talked about last week how the way that Selfless has always shown the most is when Dapper and Miho are freed up to do whatever they want on offense and just let Timmy kind of hold on to that 3rd spot. So maybe that'd be an idea, like try to go back to that style, leave Timmy in the back more often. I don't know. I'm not the pro player here for Selfless, but these guys, they got to do something. They got to do the reverse sweep thing again, but they're like, okay, guys, let's just one more time. We can do it.
If I'd be Timmy and I drew the short straw for being on defense against G2 all day, I think I'd bail on that
Like, guys, come on.
Like, really, of all the teams, you're going to make me do it against G2? Oh, will we see another kickoff goal?
Oh, man. Okay, well, now my question is, did Selfless go for boost?
Let's see.
Let's see. Yep. They both did. Okay, cool. Things you shouldn't do, kids. They both try to come back, not going to make it. JNaps punishes 1-0 for G2 in Game 3.
To play the devil's advocate for you, though, knowing your teammates are going for boost, you want to make sure that kickoff does not die. Now, the problem is there's someone on the other side of the ball assuring you that it will.
Yes.
So it's hard to know who went wrong. Oh, what?
Close response there. Miho almost ties it up immediately. within the first 10 seconds, we almost had 2 goals. That would have been crazy. But Jnaps misses that touch. Miho's going to punish him. We do have a tie game.
The tiny mistakes on Selfless are going to seek the opportunity and destroy. Jnaps, well, I don't even know what he just did there. That looked ridiculous. I think he tried to jump. I think he tried to get both of his jumps right off the bat, but the second one didn't happen. He hit the ground, then he tried to flip. It looked real ugly. Sorry, Jnaps, we all had to watch that one.
The car was very loose there. And now Kronovi with a shot. Dapper stayed in net and still got scored on.
So we're useless right now, Wave. They're just going to forget how to play everything and just do whatever they can. Miho didn't go for the contest. I think Dapper was really hoping for it. But
look at that speed. Look at that speed. 128 kilometers per hour. That is blazing fast, even for anyone who's sitting in net.
Dapper had time to react. I think he just really wasn't expecting the pace.
Is this a fake kickoff? I think they might be. Selfless did not touch the ball.
Who knows what to expect anymore?
All right, what am the sky? At this point, Kronovi going to shoot towards the net. Miho gets the block. Coming in from the side, he and Dapper will both be up on the wall, but the 50-50 goes in favor of G2, and Rizzo's shot goes just wide of the net. 4:17 left to go. It's been an exciting first minute, Carpet.
Exciting is a word. I'll go with exciting. Rizzo, can he tap this down? He goes for the crossbar.
The setup for Kronovi. Oh, Dapper gets the block. Jnaps in for the follow-up, but it is wide, and Miho will come screaming from the side and send it away from his net. That'll be Dapper with the follow-up. Quick transition here up to the waiting Timmy, who is all the way on the backboard of G2. And now Kronovi being able to push that one all the way down to the other end of the field. Miho in the air with Rizzo. Jnaps in for the follow-up, takes the shot high. Kronovian one more time, misses the ball, and that's Timmy with ball control. He slows this down, up to Miho, who's going to try and pop this one around Jnaps. Gets it around, it's into the corner, bumps Rizzo. Can Dapper finish it? He does, it's a tie game.
Miho carrying the team on his back. Look at this, gets the flick around Jnaps, then just shoves Rizzo in the net. Kronovi had to go up for that. Uncharacteristic of him to completely miss, but Dapper seizing that opportunity to keep this game tied. I have absolutely no idea what's going on in this game.
That was, and then Selfless just shows up. They get this crazy defensive play, immediately transition, get exactly the setup they need, and the finish from Dapper. That's the sort of Selfless that we have been seeing all season. The sort of Selfless that would maybe be able to pull off a reverse sweep here against G2. I don't know.
The Selfless you generally only see when they're 2 goals down and a best of 5.
Exactly.
Or 2 games down.
3:20 left to go in game number 3. Everything on the line for Selfless as they try to reverse sweep for their 3rd time of the season. Dapper up to Timmy. He's waiting. He'll be very patient with this one. And let Miho rotate in and put it onto the backboard. Now Kronovi out to G2, Rizzo and Jnaps. They both went up for that one. Some small ball passing from Selfless will pull Kronovi out of the rotation. Dapper up to set it onto the backboard once more. Rizzo intercepted it before it made it there. They'll be able to gain ball control back for G2. Back and forth. Both teams with opportunities. Neither team able to capitalize just yet. Approaching halftime, still tied up in game 3.
Now we're starting to see Selfless seek each other out and try and cheat up for some of these passes. I mean, you want to try and insert yourself in the middle, whatever G2 is doing, because if you let them breathe, you give them the space, you let them play their game, they're just going to keep stomping.
Miho whiffed that one on the wall. We've seen Miho whiff a few wall touches, and G2 has punished both times. Or at least punished the first time, is threatening to punish on this one. At this point, we've gotten far enough away, you couldn't blame the wall touch, but G2 still with ball control in Selfless's half. Kronovi looks for the soft touch shot. Can Jnaps finish it? No, the positioning from Timmy will keep the shot away. With 2:09 left to go, we're still tied up. Rizzo now over and across the midfield line, immediately put back by Miho. It's off the backboard, Jnaps in the air. Soft touch to carry it up past, carried into the corner. Dapper setting this one out, dangerous position. Rizzo looks to set this one up.
Rizzo!
Can he finish it off the double tap? Such a tight shot.
Every single player from G2 just wants to showcase something this game. Rizzo, that was actually a phenomenal redirection of his car, moving it around, using probably 60 boosts just to do so. Following it through in the corner, knowing that he had just missed and hit the crossbar. Phenomenal play.
And just like that, G2 has the lead in game 3. If they hold on to this, they will sweep Selfless, who coming into this week were the #1 team, crowning the top of the leaderboard. Jnaps up for a shot. The soft one placement was excellent, but Miho able to read it and keep it away. Still threatening here from G2 as Kronovi drops in a soft one. Sent away by Timmy. And Dapper in the midfield. We'll look to play it over to the side. A demo on Rizzo in the midfield by Miho. So as Kronovi was able to pick up ball control. The demo not that big of an impact on the play. But Miho past JNaps, past Rizzo as well. It's just Kronovi in the back. Can Miho get this shot? No, Kronovi will play it back into the corner and wrap it back around from the direction. Once it came, Kronovi going to try and shoot towards the net. Can't get it in. Final minute for Selfless. They have to get the lead here. They have to at least tie it up and send it to overtime and get the win in overtime. But Timmy, can he do it for the third time today? Almost got the double tap off the backboard again. 48 seconds left for G2 to hold on and sweep Selfless.
Oh, this could be it. Rizzo, last man back, has to push it to the corner. Selfless has to pressure this hard. They have to contest everything. First one by Timmy. Shot almost by Dapper. And where is Mio to come through? He's going to keep possession in G2's half.
30 seconds remaining as JNaps lofts that one downfield. Miho putting it onto the wall. They'll play it into the corner. Out from Kronovi. Dapper takes the shot. Rizzo gets the block. Can Timmy get an angle onto this? He'll drop it back into the box for Miho, who takes a shot towards the backboard. Kronovi clears it away. 12 seconds left on the clock as JNaps flies it down the field. Dapper's touch will take it away from Kronovi, not allow him to have a shot on the net, but 4 seconds left in this game. They have to get the whole carry. Dapper drops it towards Timmy. Can it go in? Oh! No! The save from Rizzo gives G2 the reverse. Not the reverse, dang it. The sweep.
We were so ready for it, but it's sweep on Selfless to boot. Something to not laugh at. G2 really showing they should be at the top right now of our predictions. They should be a team that's just going to dominate through the rest of league play. Look at those shots. 11 shots from G2. That was my short mathematics in my head. You guys heard that pause? That's a professional calculation.
That's how long it takes to add 3 numbers together.
Leave me alone.
My goodness.
Leave me alone.
Hey, I'm right there with you, man. It happens all the time. G2 in such high form there. We could take a look. Rizzo getting the save at the end of the game to keep it from going to overtime. Oh my goodness. Such a heart stopper.
Selfless really seemed to pick up the pace the moment they knew they had to. That drop from Dapper was absolutely incredible, and it was followed through by someone from G2, and everyone from G2, especially on defense, the moment that Selfless seemed to have something going for them, I saw 2 people in net and 1 person on the backboard for G2. They had every angle covered, and they just patiently wait. They knew who was going to get the next touch.
Yep.
Selfless, you were almost my favorite. You're still up there. I'm still rooting for you. Don't get me wrong. But you couldn't get the reverse sweep this time.
They couldn't get the reverse sweep. They got swept. And I tweeted out today, I'm like, is today sweep day? We have had a sweep in some form or fashion with every series. We had 4 sweeps and then a reverse sweep. So I was right. But I didn't get the prediction right here. That'll be a loss in the pick'ems column for me and for you. But
yeah,
G2 staying in top form, undefeated in North America as they take the win over Selfless. We'll send it back to the desk. I'm sure they've got lots to say. What an exciting match. Axel Toss, back to you.
Thank you, Wavepunk and Finable Carpet. What an excellent match there. G2 proving that maybe they deserve to be at the top a little bit longer. They remain undefeated alongside NRG. Meanwhile, Selfless came into today undefeated, and that gives them 2 losses in league play at this point. Axel Toss back here at the desk. I'm joined by James Bot and Shogun. Guys, we were like, okay, what's going to happen here? Is there going to be another reverse sweep from Selfless? But no, G2 coming out, staying true, getting a nice 3-0.
From the very beginning, we saw in game number 1, G2 came out, and I had mentioned their passing plays in the segment before we went into the game, and they proved me right out of the gate with some insane passing plays.
There was not a single thing that went wrong for G2 throughout this entire series, apart from a couple of own goals. In that first game, they equaled up the overall season record for most goals scored by a single team in one game, held also by Kaunos over in EU. So huge coming out from them. They set the pace in game 1. They continued that pace onwards.
And really, Rizzo had some unbelievably amazing goals. Ones where he didn't hesitate at all. One coming off the ceiling, another one where he followed it up off the backboard. But Kronovi and JNaps also contributed greatly. Rizzo actually scored the least, even though, yeah, this goal, absolutely insane. But JNaps had 4 goals, 4 assists. Kronovi scored 5 goals this series. They were undoubtedly the better team. They're looking to be the reigning team, and they are scary with how many passing plays that they can make happen, and also just the individual plays that they can make.
Yeah, it really is a case of that was not just a great team performance. That was a great team performance and a great individual performance. Selfless, it's hard for us to critique them because they didn't necessarily do too much wrong. It's just that G2 did almost everything right.
Yeah, they just outclassed them. They did.
It's great. It's really fun to see what kind of plays and what kind of Rocket League we're seeing from this new G2 squad. And it raises questions, even on the conversation of North America versus Europe. everyone's trying to find a team, come up with a team that can beat Flipside Tactics, that can compete with the top in Europe. And it seems like G2 is looking pretty good. Any one other players can come out and make a play. JNaps, I think, was the MVP out of week 1. Kronovi might be the MVP of this week. And then you have Rizzo, who can always come out of nowhere to do an epic play. So really fun to watch G2. I want to talk about this a lot more, but first we were able to get a shot of James Bot in the wild. If we could play the clip really quick here. Yeah, James, there it is.
Hey.
Beautiful.
Hey,
I love your form. Your form is great. Look, I'm on your side here.
I drank with my left hand too. I did not commit a buffalo.
Oh no.
I didn't even know you did that.
Yeah.
You were sneaky with that
Well,
one.
you know, I haven't drank as much as Axel Toss. This one,
quite
I've had
delicious.
this one for like 3 weeks. So.
To be fair, if you look at, we can just compare them right now. That is, that is an empty bottle of brisk right there.
I wish we had more games so I could finish more of the brisk, but that was the last match of the day, believe it or not. 4 sweeps, 4 3-0s, and we had a reverse sweep, as Wavepunk mentioned. But let's get more specific about these teams and about these teams in the North America standings. Now we have G2 at the top, undefeated. NRG played earlier today, undefeated. Those are your 2 at the top. Selfless dropping 2 today. They're still in great position at 4-2. But talk to me, guys, about how you're. Is this meeting your expectations, and what are your expectations going forward as league play continues?
Well, G2 right now they're looking to be in such a good position for the playoffs. Same as NRG. Both of those teams have the tiebreaker over Atelier, which is a team that looks like they might be making a run and potentially finishing at 5-2, and now Selfless also might be at 5-2. It's going to be an interesting series of events.
Yeah, it certainly is. But G2 and NRG have kind of come in and just sort of shown, yeah, we are the top 2 teams. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when Selfless and NRG do play. But at the moment, the teams that we have considered to be the top 2 in the region are exactly that. They are the top 2 in the region.
Yeah, and G2, again, they just seeming to be head and shoulders above other teams when it comes to working together, making new passing plays. And then, like Finable Carpet said, every single player on this roster is absolutely insane. They are probably the best players that we have in North America. And you look at a team that has skill but not as good passing plays, that's Selfless. You look at a team that has the skill and has that presence of mind to play as a unit, you've got G2, and you can see the difference that it makes.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you brought up Axel earlier on. What do we think of G2 versus F3? Are they the teams to take them on? I think that's a very interesting story to go on because Flipside is not like another team when it comes to defense. They do not play reactionary. They play very proactive. They'll sort of predict the play that's coming across and see if they can get there faster. So team play will be a lot more difficult, but G2's got something great going for them, and that's every single week we have saw how good they are individually.
Yeah.
That is a clash of the Titans if we ever get to see it.
And I mean, Flipside, who knows if they'll even make it in the top 2.
Yeah, that's its own little thing at the moment, isn't it?
Leftovers are sitting at the top of the ladder undefeated. So Europe, that's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. Hopefully they even make it. I'm sure they will, but that would be interesting.
Defending world champs. All right, Flipside Tactics, you can't take that away from them. Again, Europe coverage is tomorrow on twitch.tv/Rocket League. But we talked a lot about G2. I want to shift the conversation to Selfless a bit here because I personally feel like consistency is very important in Rocket League. G2 showing that in a big way. When they win, it's pretty convincing. Now, a couple of the matches we were seeing from Selfless, I mean, we're joking about a little bit, reverse sweeps. And it's like, if you're an amazing team, are you going to put yourself in a position to have to reverse sweep in the first place, right? So those are a couple of questions I have, but can you guys give me some of your more thoughts on Selfless?
Ideally, no. You don't want to be in that position where you're having to force yourself into the reverse sweep situation. You want to be dominant. I'm thinking like NG was in Season 2. They were just dominant so much online. And then NRG, a lot of their games last season went to 5 games, and they underperformed at the World Championship. So ideally, you are shutting out series before you give that team a chance to come back.
Yeah, not only is it about your own confidence, but it's about confidence in everyone else around you. I mean, you heard just a second ago, we were talking about Flipside, because the leftovers, everything they've done so far has not been convinced. They're getting the wins, but it's hard to convince anyone when it goes to 5 games every single time.
But for them, if it can pay off if they can get in that top 2 spot. Again, those top 2 spots are so cherished because you automatically get a bid into the World Championship, and you get a bye in the first round of the North American or European Championship either way. So that is huge. So even though a lot of people might look at the leftovers and be like, you know, they're not a top 2 team. If they can finish in that top 2 spot, it doesn't matter. They'll put the other teams in a really tough position. Then you got teams like Mocket, you got teams like Pocket Aces, Flipside, and Northern. One of those teams, if leftovers keeps us going, they're not going to make it to the World Championship, which is crazy. crazy to think about.
Can't wait to see how Europe unfolds again. Our coverage of that continues tomorrow. But let's move into the final contender there in North America right now. At the very top, undefeated NRG. Guys, let's talk about this squad. We saw them play in the first match of the day. Some really flashy plays, especially out of Jacob. Whenever he gets that car upside down, look out, he's going to do something crazy. Talk to me about NRG, guys, and how they're doing coming into the season, especially considering the recent roster change with Garrett.
Garrett was a good addition this time. And coming out last week, we saw Jacob go absolutely insane. He was the player of the week, or in week 1 rather, just scoring the most insane goals, leading the league. Coming into today, this was more of the NRG that we saw in previous seasons where Jacob was the setup guy. He had 5 assists and Fireburner scoring 4 goals. So this is the NRG that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, it's really hard to critique a team when they come in this week, they play once and they completely sweep a team, not only winning every single game, but not conceding a single goal throughout the entirety of that match. You can't say anything negative about that.
Yeah, and Denial's one of those mid-level teams in North America, you know? So that is a series where if you're the superior team, you want to come in and crush them. They gave Denial 0 chance to be back in that game. I think they shut them out every single game in that series. That is about as much as you can do to turn a team off than to not allow them to score a single time. I think we were trying to figure out if that's a record, if that's even ever happened before in the RLCS. It was just such dominance by NRG.
I mean, it's something you never see, ever. I mean, we've both casted community tournaments.
Yeah.
Even then,
it's a rarity.
We never see something like that unless it's like the very earliest possible rounds of like tournaments almost a year ago where like skill gap was as big as it used to be. That's not a skill gap anymore. That is just pure dominance from NRG showing a new level to us.
It's got to be great for their confidence as well as the season continues. But it's time to look at the standings for North America. Again, that does conclude the broadcast effectively for this week of North American Rocket League play. Here are the standings through 3 weeks of action. And again, next week is the mid-season mayhem, so all these teams will have a break until the following week.
So you see Selfless there right now. They're listed at the top, but they have 1 match left to play, and that's against NRG. So that's going to be tough for them. But NRG and G2, arguably the favorites right now, going into that number 1-2 spot. But Atelier is surging right now. The real question in NA is who is going to miss out on that 5-6 spot? Is it going to be Take 3 or is it going to be Genesis? Who doesn't make it to the NA Regional Championship?
Yeah, that certainly is the most important bit. Set to Destroy effectively out at this point. They're not involved in that at all. So yeah, we've got those 2 teams playing on for it. Selfless right now, as you were saying about those top 2 spots. They need to look at this now. I mean, we've still got NRG still to play G2. They need to not only beat NRG themselves, but they need G2 to beat NRG. So a lot of things against them right now. But those are results that when we say them out loud, they're not completely out there.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially based on last season where it literally came down to the final matches, the final games, the final goals. We had a lot of tiebreaker situations too. So every game, every goal is so important in this format of group play. And again, North American League play continues in 2 weeks, as next weekend we have mid-season mayhem. So look out for that. But that being said, it is time to announce our Old Spice Player of the Week. Don't smell yourself short. And your Player of the Week goes to Fireburner from NRG. Not smelling himself short this time, scoring lots of goals. All the highlights, check him out.
Keeping them in position to get that number 1 or 2 seed in North America. Fireburner showing up today. Last weekend he was a little bit, or 2 weeks ago he was a little bit quiet when it came to scoring, but now he was back to his old self, scoring 4 goals and in that insane shutout of Denial.
Yeah, I think this is more of a Player of the Week for a team more than it is for an individual because a lot of his stuff came from what his team did around him. Being that lurking player, sitting around in the middle of the field, picking up the scraps, scoring the goals. That is just showing how good NRG played this week. Fireburner, a worthy recipient, but he's got to share it a little bit with his team.
And the other Player of the Week that was also crowned Jacob in week number 1, he deserves a huge piece of it because you see in some of these highlights, most of them are being set up by Jacob. Look at this one off the wall, dribbles it past the defense to put it over to Fireburner. So Jacob, a huge part of this, but now it's Fireburner's turn to get his time in the limelight. And he really did go above and beyond for NRG, putting these shots into the net, making sure that they claim that victory.
Congrats to Fireburner. Don't smell yourself short. Your Old Spice Player of the Week. NRG showing that they have come to contend in this season of the RLCS. That's going to wrap up our discussion about North America, though. Let's talk about Europe a little bit here, because that broadcast is going to start tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific. A little bit early in the morning if you're in the United States, but if you're in Europe, it's over in the afternoon, so you're fine. Make sure you tune in, twitch.tv/Rocket League. Here is the lineup. Northern Gaming starting off against Mocket Esports. You don't need coffee. That's all you need right there.
The only undefeated team, the leftovers right now. This is going to be a big week. Northern Gaming and Flipside, they both had bye weeks last week. We didn't even get to see them play, so we'll see how that short break has affected them coming into tomorrow.
Yeah, certainly is. I mean, as you said, the leftovers, if they can go 2-0 tomorrow, that puts them 5-0 overall, only leaving Pocket and Mocket to take on both teams that have already taken losses on board. If they can go 2-0 tomorrow, they could pretty much be qualified in that top 2.
Mm-hmm. Really exciting stuff for Europe, and again, that starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Same place, twitch.tv/Rocket League. So honestly, just keep the stream on, maybe minimize it, put it on mute, but this is where you want to be tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. Pacific. That being said, we have a show that's happening in between weekends on Wednesday, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific. So if these weekend competition isn't enough, you want more conversation, check out RLCS Overtime Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific. Guys, you having fun with that?
Yeah, it's a blast. We get to go, hang out, talk about Rocket League, recap all the action from NA and EU, have a little bit of fun. We have some trivia things and some other kind of segments that are fun to do. So it's always fun.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, I've had a blast on that entire thing. As you said, we get to go into it a bit more in depth.
You hit yourself with a clipboard. I really enjoyed seeing that. Although I honestly wish that I was hitting you with that clipboard. That would have been even better. Axel.
We're going to have to make it happen. But again, for all the conversation outside of this broadcast, definitely check out twitch.tv/Rocket League on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific. One more thing to discuss here, and that's Australian qualifiers.
Yes.
There's a new region being added to RLCS this year. It's incredibly exciting. North America, Europe, you all remember the epic trailer from the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. We have Australia. They are participating. And qualifiers, I think, are being broadcast at 5 p.m. today.
Yep.
Pacific at twitch.tv/ThrowdownTV. That's twitch.tv/ThrowdownTV. All the best Australian Rocket League teams competing for a spot at the grand finals.
Not only is it Australia, it's all of Oceania. So
right.
But I think a large majority of them are from Australia, since it's the biggest piece of land over there. I think it's a pretty big piece of land, right?
It's a continent, I think.
It's Australia is a giant
We're
continent.
going math today. We're doing some geography. Wow.
NA education, everyone.
But let's talk more about Australia. Are there anything y'all are looking out for from that region, and what an opportunity for those players?
I had a chance to actually hang out with Dumbo. He came out to the live event in Amsterdam, and it was really cool hanging out with him. I've gotten to play with him in matchmaking a few times. They're good, but it's going to be really difficult to put them on, or rank them how they compare to North America or Europe, because we just have never had any instances where a team has played against one of these teams in a LAN environment. It's all online, and when they play, they're playing at 200 ping on West servers. So they have skill, undoubtedly they have skill, but it's going to be tough to imagine how they rank up until we get to the World Championship, where we have 2 of their teams there to play.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, we've seen a lot of the teams that we're starting to grow into this now. We've got a lot of teams that we expect to perform during LANs. None of these teams will have RLCS experience for, but OCE, they run a lot of their own stuff between Oceanic teams against other Oceanic teams. So no team is coming into this without LAN
event experience. Yeah.
So that is going to be big. They're not complete newbies in this.
And I think that broadcast goes live again in about an hour and a half, 5 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/ThrowdownTV. So if you're an avid Rocket League fan, I am, anyone watching right now probably is, you have a whole nice lineup for you this weekend of Rocket League action on Twitch. That being said, that is going to conclude our broadcast for the day. Week 3, League play for North America. The next broadcast is tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific. We're going to see the European Titans in action as the Rocket League Championship Series continues. On behalf of everyone here, thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Don't be late.